Yeah, so this is a fair use from the Act of 1976. Disclaimer, Section 107, under critical and teaching and scholarship and educational purposes, research. I am not making any money off this. This is fair use, fair use.
Khan, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory. Kahalayim Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To sisters, Shuachwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yehowadah with the lesson.
I love when the black community said, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and hip hop culture. What do you think that's made? That's made all in Asia. And here's another thing for you guys. You guys want us to leave the neighborhood so bad? Oh, Asian people are not neighborhoods? We're in white neighborhoods. We have our own Chinatown. We have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money? A lot of us do go to college as well. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed? Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people.
By the way, this guy is making this video as a response to the black community reacting to the Chinese guy that unalived the 14-year-old kid that allegedly stole the bottle of water, ran away, and got pew-pewed in his back, but a Chinese store owner that chased him. My thing is this: whenever the Latino community or lack thereof does something, performs something that is deemed anti-black, that is considered an attack against the black community, I don't think that the way to handle that is to dare black people to boycott us. Because the way that this guy is coming across is, oh, a little black kid was unalived by a Chinese. So what? Oh, y'all gonna boycott us because of it? Oh, I don't care. Go ahead. Matter of fact, I dare. Y'all use so much of our product, I dare you. Let's face it. Everything that you have that's created your culture and or the tools that you've acquired, that you've utilized to create black culture was by using our work. Whether it's your shoes, your clothing, as he says, your microphone, anything and everything that you utilize to create your culture was made in Asia. So what this sounds like more than anything is, y'all think you can boycott us, but you can't. Too much of our product is being utilized by your people. And when a people has this much confidence and or attitude about the sentiment, then they don't ever feel like they have to apologize if they do something wrong against your community. And what there is to learn from this is, a people only apologize to you when they believe that your boycotting will actually hurt them. But in this particular case, you can't boycott us, even if you try. Too much of our product is used on an everyday basis by your community. You cannot boycott us no matter what. And there's something very important to learn here, is that when a people apologize to another community, it's not because they feel sorry for the harm that they've caused your community. It's more because, oh no, we can't afford those people to stop giving us their money. So let's apologize. It's not a matter of, you know what we've done is wrong. This is dehumanizing. This is degrading towards those people, towards their community. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of their boycotting is going to affect us severely. Let's apologize. But in this particular case, these people can't boycott us even if they wanted to. All of our hair product businesses are in their communities, are in their neighborhoods. We plant them there. All the hair product stores, hair salons, Asian restaurants, and basically everything that he named. When they first migrate to this country, literally, whether it's Koreans, Vietnamese, people of African countries, Middle Eastern countries, Hispanic countries, they come to Black American communities. And when they establish a business, they plant it in those black neighborhoods to make money off of black people, the same people that they discriminate against. I made a video, I think last year, about this, and not a lot of people listened. So I'm going to repeat that video and insert it in here to see if that logic finally starts to, let's go.
Go back to your country. Go back to your country. We don't welcome black people.
phrase and or term people of color, POC, should not exist. Because although there are a few Asians that would watch that video in disgust and feel embarrassed to see an Asian behave and speak like that, the reality is that the collective of Asians, especially Chinese, they are very anti-black culturally. So although a lot of them may not speak and behave like this in public, they do feel this way and speak like this in private, in their own homes, and do raise their children to feel like this. But here's the bigger picture. Asians are not the only one that collectively have anti-black views and ideals in their culture. Middle Easterners also are raised with these views. People of Latin America, of my community, also have those views. And so here is the educational part. And I mean this with all due respect. As a non-black person, I promise you I mean well when I say what I'm going to say. It is a horrible idea for black people to use person of color, POC, to identify themselves as if black people are in the same struggle with Asians, Middle Easterners, Punjabis, Latinos. How could there be a category that exists called POC, people of color, and all non-white people are placed and or categorized in this bubble as if we all share the same struggle? Because sure, systemically, there is injustice and discrimination against anybody that isn't white, systemically. But the reality is this: outside of systemically, outside of white folks, we, as non-white people, the only one thing we have in common is that we live in a country where systemically we're discriminated against because we are not white. But aside from that detail, I didn't say most, all of these other cultures that are not black have anti-blackness in their cultures, in their upbringings. All of them culturally are raised to dislike black people, to repel black people, to not marry, and hell no, you better not have children with black people. Are there exceptions? Yes, very few. But collectively, anti-blackness is literally part of Asian culture, Middle Eastern, Indian culture, and all, no, not some, all cultures in Latin America. Even the black population in Latin America are anti-black American. There's the exceptions, sure. But collectively, anti-blackness exists and has prevailed in all these other cultures. And that's the reason it's very normal for these other people of different cultures and different countries, from India, from the Middle East, from Asian countries, from Latin American countries, to come to the United States. And although migrate specifically into predominantly black neighborhoods, are always only prejudiced against black people. Even the black people of Latin America, even the black people of African countries discriminate against the black American people when they come to the United States. And again, there's the exceptions, the individual exceptions, the individuals that go out of their way to question the anti-blackness, to realize it's wrong. But that's individuals. Meanwhile, collectively, all these people are anti-black. So when I hear phrases or terminologies like POC, people of color, and black people are included, as well as Asians, Middle Easterners, Latin people are included and or categorized in this POC, my question is, what does it mean to be categorized as POC? Is it just a simple fact that all of us non-white people are discriminated against by this system in this country? Because if so, then okay. But if this category exists to make it seem like we are a people that share a togetherness, the reality is that we don't. Because the truth is that although in this particular video, the lady is Chinese, videos like this exist all over the internet. And instead of a Chinese, it's a Mexican person, an Indian person, a Russian person, a Filipino, a Dominican, a Colombian. You get the drift. Because all these other people actually have something in common with each other, is that they come from cultures that are anti-black. Yeah,
so this is Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9 says, my heritage, right? Which are the Israelites, right? And the Israelites happen to be those so-called Negroes that you don't like, right? Latinos and Native Americans that these people do not like, right? Yeah, and we have some of our people, right, of the Northern Kingdom that come against the Southern Kingdom, but that's what basically part of the curses, right? You know, that's that separation. But you know, the Lord is closing up the breaches as far as the elect, right? So, and eventually, what the Lord is going to show forth His power, and all you nations are going to bow, man. All you nations are going to get put into submission, right? You're gonna get put into some submission, and you're gonna bow down. You're gonna lick the dust of the feet of those so-called black people that you hate, right? Those Latin people that you hate, right? Those Native Americans that you hate, right? But overall, mostly, yeah, the most of the hate is towards Judah, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? And even they got because you got Benjamin, which is a so-called Jamaicans, they be against the black Americans. Haitians, you know, Levi be against the black Americans. It's just that's just one of those things. And that's part of being what the head tribe. The whole head is sick, right? Even the so-called black community, right? It says, but what is my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, right? And speckled bird means there's many different colors, different things, because there's Israelites, like that's why we talk about the phenotype, but their bloodline goes back to Israel, right? They may have a different look, different phenotype, have a different color, but their bloodline, you know, that no matter how many speckles, different colors the bird have, it's still that bird, right? It's not of another bird. It's that bird. The birds round about are against. So these other nations, these other birds, the other nations are against the Lord's heritage, starting with Judah, right? Which the head tribe, which our Lord sprang out of Judah, right? Which is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls JC. He springs out of Judah. So all you people will be against the Lord. Oh, you can, Lord. Hey, I never knew you, right? Because you're looking for a pasty, pale, long hair hippie, and that's not the description of the Lord according to the scriptures, right? And what they're against, said round about against her, right? Against the nation of Israel, her meaning the entire nation. Come ye assemble, all ye beasts, which is talking about the people, the nations, right? Because the Lord talks about how men are but beasts, right? There's no real understanding in you. Beast of the field meaning the world. So all you other nations that's in the world come to devour, right? So all you nations come to devour us, man. And that's just what the scriptures say that you were going to do. So obviously that's a thing being played out in the earth right now, right? Yeah, so this is Luke chapter 16, verse 20. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which meaning God is my help, or God is my salvation, or God is my helper, which that's what Lazarus means. Which was laid at his gate, full of sores, right? And this basically being what the conditions that they leave you in, the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, right? You know, matter of fact, that's what the word ghetto means. Ghetto means a place that they send the Jews, right? Which that's going back to the Greek captivity. They sent us. They had us in the ghettos all the way back in the Greek captivity. Those were the so-called black people, right? Which are the Southern Kingdom, right? That were in that time, right? But they don't really want to expound on that too much, because then their whole narrative falls apart. But which we know that the Lord, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, was a so-called black man who you people would come against, and you would say go back to Africa and all this other madness, right? But what? But God is what says Lazarus. God is my help, right? See, and that's us. That represents the nation of Israel, especially the southern kingdom, right? Because what? The Lord sprang out of Judah. King David sprang out of Judah, and we're building the tabernacle of David, which is all 12 tribes. But it's going to be very important to have that tribe, right? Because you're dealing with the tribe of Judah, right? Ultimately, right? And he desiring to be fed, right? We just want to, be able to send our kids to school, good schools, this and that, live the American dream like everybody else, right? And there's plenty of money and things to go around so everybody can live. It really shouldn't be a poor person or a homeless person in America, but that's the way they do things so people can, they have a way to feel like they're better than you, right? Like it was showing that little Chinese girl. To her, that made her feel good, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, my boyfriend's white and he's your master. Okay, well, that made you feel good because your boyfriend's a master, but then who's your master, right? Right? You're kissing the Edomites' ass, even though they went and took and destroyed you and took over Hong Kong for some time, even though the international bankers are over you, right? Your people ain't really running China. The international bankers are running China, right? The international bankers are running Latin America and what else? The he was talking about those African countries that come against, man. The Edomites. That's why they have that Stockholm syndrome, because Esau is ruling the world, and he did it by what the Lord said he would do it. He took the world by brute force, by the sword, right? And the sword comes in many ways too, right? Democracy, disease, right? Financial ruin, right? And they did all those things to the world. War, financial, food, which they're going to do it again, right? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to do it again. But what? Desire to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, right? Amen. And I believe that's why the Lord gave seen that woman's faith, which she was an Israelite. She was not a heathen. But when she said that, hey, surely the dog eat the crumbs, and that they gave him that was like, oh wow, that's faith. Because guess what? Ultimately, the kingdom is ours, right? Hey, and you you dogs, right? Because the Lord said dogs should come past me. But you're talking about you nations, ultimately starting with Esau, right? Who pierced him, man? Yeah, and that just sealed your fate, because what? We're gonna rule the world, right? Yahushai died, was buried, and ascended back on the right hand of the Father, right? To what is it called? To reconcile us back to the Father. So that's hey, and that's where with Lazarus, with God is my help, or God helps, right? And that's what it is. So even though we're at the bottom now, we're begging for crumbs, right? It seemed like it to be fed with the crumbs, which fell from the rich man's table, right? Because that's what they had too. Was it back in the 80s? They used to talk about the trickle down theory, because it was all it was crumbs, right? Even now, when they're about to get ready to push this universal basic incomes, it's just all basic. It's just crumbs, right? More, and it says, which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs, right, which are you other nations, you dogs, you other nations, right? Like I said, starting with Esau, Edom, but you other nations are also dogs, came and licked the sores, right? And that's you being in putting your stores and things in the black community, making more money off of our condition, our lower condition, because you can. Because although the white men are racist against you, everybody has a common thing to come against Judah, right? Even our own people, right? Okay, yeah, this is because even our people right here, it says Isaiah chapter 9 verse 21, Manasseh being the Cubans, right, and Ephraim being the Puerto Ricans, right, was showing you that they're brothers, right? Those were Joseph's sons, right? And when you go today, they ultimately have the same flag, but the color is different, right? The way it's red, white, and blue, but the blue, I believe Cuba, the blue was over the thing, and then you had the red stripe down the thing, and then Puerto Rico is red, and then you have the blue stripe instead of it being so. But the flag basically is exactly the same flag, but just the color thing is kind of reversed. If you look at it, showing you that those are the brothers, right, from Joseph, right, Yahweh, but and so they have Yahweh's blessing, but they're still against us because what the Lord there was a splitting of the tribes of Jeroboam and Rehoboam, and that thing is still going on to this very day, right? So it says Ephraim and Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah, right, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is the southern kingdom, right, which is so-called African Americans, so-called Jamaicans, Jamaican West Indies is Benjamin, and the Haitians being the tribe of Levi, which even there, Benjamin and Levi be against the so-called American, right, so-called Black American, right, which really is the tribe of Judah, right? But for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, which is talking about the Father, right? Which at the time of Jeroboam and Rehoboam, the Lord made that anger between the two kingdoms, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, right? Yeah, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, right? So these are the curses that the Lord gave us. So yeah, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom are basically at odds with each other because the Lord said it was going to happen. He did that. But also even within our own community, right, within the so-called Black community, right? Like I said, Benjamin is against us, the Haitians are against us, and then even ourselves within the so-called Black community. This is why a lot of things don't really go right. That's why it's hard for them to come together and boycott these other places, and that's why this dude is just daring it to happen. Go ahead, boycott us, But what he don't realize is there's a real awakening happening in these last days, right? And not only are we are speaking of Esau, but Moab, you're on the chopping block as well. That's what you're not realizing. And his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And see, in this world, this is like a reproach, a laughing, leave you as a laughing stock amongst the nations, you know what I mean, against the people, because they use that as a like a proverb and a byword. Oh yeah, you Black, you leave your kids, you single mother homes. Yeah, that's why this and that. That's why there's no fault. But really, you go back statistically and you really go back and really look, there are plenty of male within the family, or they at least want to be there, right? But because of society, women are allowed to do a lot of different things, but there are a lot of men within their children's lives. See, so that this, but this is like a reproach, right? Yeah. So it says Isaiah chapter 11. Verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, all you nations. See, what's going to happen is, hey, you're gonna have to bow down, right? You're gonna get put in subjection, and the world is going to become, the kingdoms of this world is going to become the kingdom of our Lord, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. See, so you've been outcasting us. We've been we've been the ridicule. We've been the one where you can lick our wounds, get rich. Talk shit on social media. Yeah, boycott us. Yeah, you talking bold, and you're not even talking like a regular even Asian dude. You see, your whole swag is, even while you talking shit, you talking it with our swag. But that's okay. But hey, you're all gonna bow down, right? You're gonna get put a subjection, and it says because the Lord is assembling the outcasts of Israel, right, Yasha'Allah, and gather together the dispersed from Judah, from the four corners of the earth. They say, we're all over the earth, and all over the earth, you've been kicking our asses, talking shit, right? But that's all right. It says the envy of Ephraim. See, so Ephraim and Manasseh is against us, and Ephraim's the head tribe over the northern kingdom. So it's basically saying what the envy of the northern kingdom, I'll say it that way, shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. So those who are the northern kingdom that comes up as an adversary against us, hey, you're gonna die, right along with these Edomites and these Moabites and these other nations. So you come up against us, hey, the Lord is going to destroy you ultimately, because what? We're coming, the Lord's building back the tabernacle of David, right? And that's why it's saying what? Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. See, now we're going to be one people. And ultimately, as that one people, that tabernacle of David, which is all 12 tribes, hey, we're gonna do a lot of putting these nations into submission, man. We do a lot of what David did, man. He went and quieted the nations, man. So it's going to happen that way again to bring in the kingdom of heaven, man. The Lord's ready to wreck shop, man, to all you nations. So hey, at the end of the thing, the Lord's going to close up those breaches, the gaps, and bring back that brotherhood between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Yeah, so this is Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 15. So the word of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, right, which is a plank, and write upon it for Judah, right, southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the so-called African American, so-called West Indies, Jamaican, which is Benjamin, Haitians, which is the Levites, right, and Israel and his companions, and then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, right, which would be Ephraim, Manasseh, right, so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Cubans, Mexicans, Colombians, Panamanians, right, so-called Native Americans, right, whether it's in Canada or down through Central and South and Central America, all you Native Americans, right, which will be to the tribe of Ephraim, right, which is from Joseph, right, which is Yahweh's blessing predominantly went upon Joseph, right. That's crazy. Esau. Yeah, Yahweh's blessing primarily went upon Joseph, Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, right, which would be the northern kingdom, and join them to another into one stick, joining one to another in one stick, and they shall become what? One in thy hand, right? So we're coming back as that tabernacle of David. Matter of fact, let's get down here. It says, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace. See, and we're going to come back together. We're going to be peace. The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. So yeah, we're beefing and things that happen right now. And you're using that as a way that you can have this you can have your little talking points. Yeah, oh yeah, go ahead, boycott us. You can talk your shit. But hey, guess what? Hey, the Lord's making that peace, a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them in multiple and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. Right? See, and then now Yahweh is not going to hide his face from us. Hey, you're going to know that there's a power. You're going to know his name is Yahweh. You're going to know his son is Yahweh Shai, and you're going to know that he's with us, man. Because when we make move, the whole world is going to shift. And we're talking the stars, the sun, and the moon is to the rocks, right? It's gonna be cohesive with who we are, the beast of the field. You know what I mean? If I may, right? You know, it says my tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, right? Which Yahweh Shai is going to be with us. Yea, I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And what? Hey, see what I'm saying about you nations? See, yeah, there's a bird that's coming against the Lord, speckled bird, right? You come against us, you come against her, you come against Israel, which would be all you other nations come against us. What? It says, and the heathen shall know that I, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, sanctify Israel when my I do sanctify Israel when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forever. Hey, so it's going to be a forever thing. We're going to be forever being able to put a foot up in your ass sideways if you get out of line, right? And ain't nobody going to be able to do anything about it. See, and then we're gonna make the money, and we're gonna do the things, and we're gonna tax you, and you're gonna be a servant to tribute, man. So you're talking greasy, but guess what? Yeah. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh, right? And what the Lord has now gave dominion over unto his son Yahweh Shai. So now there shall be no bastard shall enter into the congregation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, even to his 10th generation, right? Which means never, right? That means it'll never happen. That means forever, ever. You'll never enter into the congregation, right? The outer courts are for the heathen, right? This is why the Lord took down Genesis, right? You're trying to be a what is it says in the Apocrypha? That they want him to be a defender of the Gentiles, right? You know, what tells you that in Apocrypha, because that's what basically what this the Greek philosophy really is, which is ultimately white Christianity, which is the Greek philosophy, right? The savior of the Gentiles, right? Yeah, so this is 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens, which really he was an Israelite, right? See, they're calling him an Athens, but he's an Israelite. Why? Because he's going to be able, they figure him being an Israelite, he'll be able to persuade other Israelites to compel the Jews, right, to depart from the laws of their fathers, right? The law, statute, commandments, meaning that you're not supposed to have another God above you, another God above you, and nor should you have a king or which is not of your brethren, right? Though the Lord did put us in these predicaments where these people ruled over us, and the Lord said, like, subject yourself to Nebuchadnezzar, like he said, but that ain't our king. We're just there for a punishment, and then we're out of there. And see, and we're at the end of this punishment, right? And Hakad and Hassad, right, was basically being like this wicked Israelite, trying to compel the Israelites to leave off or depart from the laws of their fathers, not to live after the laws of the Most High Yahweh of Hashem Yahushai. That's basically ultimately what they're saying. Because once they go into the laws are done away with, or the letter JC is the actual real way and not Yahushai, they were going to go into the laws done away with. But the Lord, like the scripture says, whose mouths must be stopped, right? Well, yeah, and it fitted for destruction. Hey, man, your mouths must be stopped. Hey, but it says and pollute also the temple, and that's also what they want you to pollute yourself. Your body is the temple now, so they want you to pollute the temple, pollute your mind, your thoughts. Got people confused. Now I gotta go. Somebody, one of the brothers, I don't know if it was the brother or the elder, Pastor Hart. He was saying somebody, they were reading the comment from the comment board, and he said, now I gotta reteach my son what I taught him, because I was teaching him what you taught me. Now I gotta reteach him and say, oh no, this is the right way, because this guy, he said this and that. This is my teacher. What double-minded man is unstable. Now you got these other men unstable in all their ways, right? And pollute also the temple, right? In Jerusalem, right? And Jerusalem is a people before a place, right? So wherever you are, you are Jerusalem. So you got to be careful. The Lord speaks about building upon another man's labor, man. We're building the second temple, right? So it says, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that Garzum of Jupiter. My bad. I stand corrected. Defenders of strangers, see, which is going to basically Gentiles, right? They want you to defend the strangers. So you have a philosophy of plantation Christianity, and God loves everybody. Now you're a defender. You're a defender of strangers. Now everybody can be saved, right? Which is a false ideology, as they did desire that dwelt in the place, right? They wanted us to fall victim to the BS, the shenanigans, man. It says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse, I guess 22. I'm just finish up. Even to the 10th generation, he shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and the Ammonites and the Moabites. Ammonites to the Japanese, Moabites is the so-called Chinese, shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, even to their 10th, which means never. You're never going to be able to do it. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. What? This, see, now I'm proving it's going to be what? Forever. Forever. That means you're never going to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? Yeah, this is 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 10. It says, and now, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, the children of Ammon, right, so-called Japanese, and Moab, so-called Chinese, and Mount Seir, right, which is Edom, self-proclaimed so-called white man. See, because they're all fitly joined together. They were in the council, right? That crafty council, saying, hey, let's come together, that they be no more in remembrance. Let's do this to them. Let's keep them at a lower level. We'll scatter them. We'll trade them as gifts. We'll just laugh at them. We'll be on top. We'll make all the money, and then we'll send people to their neighborhoods, and they'll make the money, right? You lick the wounds. You know what I mean? Basically until he die, right? It ain't no big deal. Just another dead, inward, right? No big deal. No sweat off your back. You don't have to care, right? That's how they want to treat you, right? Trying to make it like you stole some water and you didn't steal it, right? You put every single one of them waters back, right? Then they lied, said you had a gun, you didn't. Which either which way, you're not the goddamn police, right? But see, they want to get one of those what's his name? I forgot the dude that killed Trayvon Martin. Forgot his goddamn name. But yeah, that guy. They trying to get one of them deals, and get off scot-free. So they can smile and sign Skittle bags, sign water bottles or something, that's what they want to do. It's crazy, bro. Hey, man, that dude took a picture of Trayvon dead body, and then blew it up, and then made a pillow out of it, and was selling his dead body, bro. That's just crazy. But this is how they want to treat you. See, but the whole thing is, hey, not only are you not going to be in the congregation, your buddy Esau, hey, he's fit for Obadiah 1:18. So all that kissing this Edomites, you know what? Where the sun don't shine. Hey, and it's gonna all be unto naught. It's gonna come to naught, right? Right? Whom it says the Ammon and Moab and Mount Seir, whom thou wouldst not let the Israelites invade. See, the Lord wouldn't even let us invade you when they came out of the land of Egypt, but they turned from them and destroyed them not. See, the Lord didn't want us to destroy you at that time, but we're coming to the time where, hey, the Lord's going to let loose. The Lord's going to take off the gloves, right? The Lord said we're going to be his weapons and battle axes of war, man, right? It says, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I say how they reward us to come to cast us out of their possession, which thou hast given us to inherit. Man, the world belongs to us, right? Like the scriptures speak about you, you heathen. You are what it says. It talks about you having a matter of fact. Let me get it. Yeah, it's right here. Psalms 92. Right. It says, "Why do the heathen rage? Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing?" Right. Because they're hoping their thing is that Moab, which is the so-called Chinese, is going to be the next ruling class in this Novos Ordo Seclorum, right? In this new thing that they're gonna bring forth with this new what they call it, the brave new world, right? Right? They're gonna be at the forefront, or at least a great a portion of it gonna have something to do with Moab, because they're already ahead when it comes to the what do you call it, the social credit score, basically having surveillance everywhere. They already got the people used to it, everything. So that China's like the blueprint of where they want to go, how they want to govern the people, with an iron fist, doing draconial laws, draconial measures. They're gonna force you're gonna be forced to fly right, so to speak. Where they say comply or die, right? That's how they feel. So the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers, right, the international bankers, to take counsel together against Yahweh, right? Oh, see, that's Esau. That's Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir. Esau, all of them. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Edomites, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, and pretty much all these nations, all these other nationalities, but these be the main ones, because Russia is technically they're Edomites, so they all have these meetings together. They ain't having the what's it called, the BRICS or the G7, or it used to be G7, but now it's the G6, right? They ain't having those meetings, and Trump didn't go over there and meet with China for no reason, with all the oligarchs, with the top bankers and the top techs. That was not for naught. They had plans to go against the Lord, and it says the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers to take counsel together against Yahweh, right? Because they basically trying to go against prophecy and against his anointed. See, us, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians out there on the highways and the byways, they coming against us, man. They plan on arresting you or beheading you, right? It says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us, because they don't plan on going to slavery. They don't plan on being, at the bottom, right? They don't plan on being the first, last hired and first fired, right? They don't plan on being a servant to tribute, or actually ultimately just first 1,000 years we doing chattel slavery, man, straight up hardcore. You know what I mean? What Ice Cube say? No Vaseline, and that's what's gonna happen, bro. You're not. Hey, what they say? No chaser. You ain't gonna get no love, man, because we're not gonna show pity on him who has not showed pity. You haven't showed pity or mercy on us, and you're about to make it more drastic. You're about to make it more drastic to live. So that's absolutely no mercy. It says, he that setteth in the heavens shall laugh. See, and the Most High Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is laughing at you. Like you're gonna. I'm saying the Lord said His word is forever. The kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is gonna be what? Forever, right? The Lord shall have him in what? In derision, right? You're gonna be sadly mistaken, bro. You're gonna be in derision, right? Defeated, confused, right? Babel, confusion, a state of confusion, derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them. See, all you nations are prepared to be vexed, man. Prepare to be vexed by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the angels and the chariots, because you can see those chariots. You see how serious and how close we are, and how dangerous it's about to really become, right? Because you can see the chariots change sizes, go through a wormhole, pop out once and pop out on the other. You don't even know where it went. You shooting at it and nothing happens, right? You put your drones next to it and it sends out a some type of pulse, magnetic pulse, and drop your drones from the sky, man. Yeah, man, the Lord is about to have you in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, right? And that's what World War III. These nukes are gonna go be let free. The chariots are gonna come out, and you're gonna have a war of worlds, right? Right? Michael should stand up and defend his people. Says Michael shall have war with your angels, right? With your space force, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Man, the Lord is sorely, highly displeased with you Edomites and you Moabites, you Ammonites, man. Highly displeased with all you nations, you Ishmaelites, you Hamites. The Lord is displeased with you heathens, man. And the Lord's about to come and wreck shop, man. And it says, yet have I set my kingdom upon my holy mountain, my holy hills, yet have I set my king, which is David, King David, starting with Yahweh Shai, upon my holy hill of Zion, right? And Zion means memorial, means to remember. So though the Lord hid his face, he's going to remember us. He's not going to hide his face anymore. He's not going to hide himself anymore. He's going to reveal himself to us and definitely to you heathen. And I will declare the decree Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai have said unto me, thou art my son. Oh, Yahweh Shai. See, Yahweh Shai gonna say, he's gonna declare, thou art my son, right? And that's Yahweh Shai. This day have I begotten thee. Ooh, the only begotten son. Have I begotten thee, right? So the kingdom's going to Yahweh Shai, man, not to you heathens, right? Oh, wait. Matter of fact, might as well do that. It says, acts of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for an inheritance and the uttermost parts of the earth, right? Where's the uttermost parts of the earth? America. All the way over here, from America all the way to the other side of the earth. Everywhere around the world. Yeah. All you heathens are going into hardcore bondage, slavery. Othermost parts of the earth for what? For thy possession, right? To ownership, right? Slavery, right? Hardcore. Yeah. So this is 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 12, finishing up. It says, and our power, see, that's the Most High. Our power, our God. So you other people, you have a God, but then your gods are nothing. They're just idols. They can't do anything. Even when you make your idols talk because you're using AI. it's really nothing. It's all in the all in the hands of the Most High, Yahweh, right? And he's going to make you fall into your own pit, It says, our power, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, will thou not judge them? See, at the end of the day, you're going to be judged. You're going into hardcore slavery, man, for 1,000 years. And of course, like I said, Edom, hey, they're going to be Obadiah 1:18. You Moabites and you Ammonites need to read that. All you other nations, right? Even you Jakes who think you want to kiss the Edomites, you know what, right? Where the sun don't shine, hey, you're gonna find out this devil is nothing. The scripture says all these devils, they're less than nothing according to the scriptures, man. So how the Lord's gonna save everybody? How the Lord love everybody when the Lord said the heathen are less than nothing? What's less than nothing? Right? All right. It says, our power wilt thou not judge them, for we have no might against this great company that cometh against us, neither know what to do. Right, bro. Hey, that sentiment is so, bro. Wow. If that's not what we're about to go through right now, when you're talking about a day like none other, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, we understand about the Lord said be pilgrims, but after that, what do you do? Hey, you got to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's it. But our eyes are upon Khan there, man. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yeah, Khan. Call Loyum Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakah Hakwadash the Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yes, it says, but our eyes are upon thee. See? That's it. There's nothing else, man. Yeah, so with all that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters who are chwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwam Yasharallah.